bitch niggas better ante up or elevate. I need you bitch niggas better ante up or elevate. I need some federal money, shoot hella opposite on the day. If I ain't big federal money, shoot for the strap and hell away. If I ain't with the diamond, niggas for the strap and hell away. I don't shoot you down in your last breath and then I skid away. This I shoot you down in your last breath and then I skid away. This I.
Dang. What's popping with the world out there, man? Tell me what's going on out there, man. How everybody doing, man? I hope everybody is blessed. I hope y'all really blessed, though, for real. By the best. For real, I hope y'all is, man. I hope ain't nobody having a hard time today. I hope your life been one of the greatest for you. You feel me? I hope you step into new beginnings. For real. Because right now, man, in 2026, man, it's the most stressfulest time in the world, right? It is. It is. My bad, John. My cat all on me. Anyway, due to the fact it's the most stressfulest time in the world. Get back, get back. It's the most stressfulest time in the world, gang. I think it comes a time where we all gotta find peace. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Peace and tranquility, as they say. Anyway, I'm back with the fourth video. Yes. I'm back with the fourth part, you understand? And at the end of the day, we are here and it's gonna dive into this video. You know what I'm talking about, my Padres. So bear with me and let's get into it, man. Let's do it.
The man, at the same time that there's an ordinary conversation, the man is a very trained psychic, and he is psychically attacking Bruce in his mind. Now, if you don't actually, so the interview appears to be normal. All the real stuff is going on in the psychic plane. The only way you pass and they let you into the program is if in the middle of this, you start touching your head. What are you doing? What are you doing? You know, you start yelling and really freaking out. Like, you're doing something to my head. Stop. What are you doing? Stop. Okay, if that's what happens, congratulations, you passed, because this guy is psychically attacking you. He's actually hurting you. And apparently, when you get the training that they provide, this is what happens. So they can attack other people. And he said that depending upon what your specialty is, whether you're a telepath or a telekinetic, and again, only 1 out of 1,000 people they discovered were telekinetics, okay? But if you're a telekinetic, then they really like you because now you can pinch the carotid artery in somebody's neck, restrict blood flow, and cause them to stroke out and die. So these are psychic assassins. If you...
Hey, what the hell? What the hell, right? For those of y'all that probably witnessed these videos on my channel, if y'all was here, y'all watched part 1, 2, and 3. This is part 4. You feel me? This is part 4, right? I've been telling people about this shit for years. You know, other people done told people about it, you know, and I'm sure you got family members who talked about it. You know, a few people who tried to discuss it, and y'all probably tried to Debbie down them like, nah, that shit ain't real. You feel me? You tried to probably make fun of them, and the whole time, gang, they wasn't lying. Nothing they said out here was lying or lies. At the end of the day, I feel like, man, shit, this a lot of shit we should have been on, man. We should have been paying attention to. You know, I think the reason we don't pay attention to shit because we automatically is distracted. Y'all know that. We've been distracted since shit 1932, and we can keep going back because we can date this all the way back to when the aliens or the extraterrestrial beings, you feel me, was landing on Earth and coming here and gene splicing with humans. So what he talking about, I know for a fact it ain't far-fetched. Some of y'all would think that is like, man, what the fuck is dude watching? What he got us watching? No, gang, everything he's saying is what the same whistleblowers has been saying for years. All around the world, they've been saying this. They've been telling y'all this, like, dude, look, there's some secret shit going on in the government and y'all don't know nothing about it. A lot of y'all laugh. A lot of y'all don't want to hear it. A lot of y'all want to turn the other cheek. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, it's some knowledge that you don't want to understand. You feel me? I know that. Like shit, when you get to telling motherfuckers something that they know true, but they don't want to hear it again, they try to shut you down. They try to shut you up. They try to make sure you don't keep finishing your sentences or things like that. Like, man, fuck that. This man right here, and that's why he did this video for that purpose. They were trying to shut him up for years. He like, fuck that.
Your path, they want to get you to do remote influencing, where if you are a successful graduate, that you could remote influence somebody to hurt themselves or kill themselves. And it's very sad, and I'm sorry to even have to tell you this stuff, but this is what he told me, okay? I'm giving you the disclosure. So, they always have pro words. They don't want you to know what's really going on. So the pro words were teeps and teeks. So if you hear somebody talking and they say teeps and teeks, you don't know what the heck they're talking about. A teep is a telepath, and a teek is a telekinetic for TP, telepathy, and TK, telekinetic. Now, what they would do is they would actually rank you in terms of how psychic you are on a scale that starts with a P0 through a P10. Now, the P scale actually is something that you can develop. So they had these special exercises that they trained people in to help them develop their psychic ability. The main exercise that you had to do the most often was lots and lots of meditation. And they also had a practice that you were supposed to do in meditation called clustering. Now think about the fact that people started to be able to move books and slam them against the wall with their minds when they learned this, if they were one of those 1 in 1,000 teeks, the telekinetic type. So otherwise, if you're a teep and you're one of those other 999, you're never going to be able to do telekinesis, unfortunately, because that would be fun. I mean, I would use it benevolently, but yeah, it would be really cool to be able to do that. So anyway, clustering means that when you're meditating, that you think about certain things and then you associate, you find the things that you have an emotional charge for. So they might actually do this in an exercise with you where they sit down and then they say, okay, you know, how do you feel about a spoon? Well, Danny and Brinkley probably doesn't want me to tell people this, but he watched somebody get killed with a spoon, so he doesn't like spoons at all. You can't even, and I forgot this a couple of times when we were having dinner with him. He doesn't want to have a spoon around. Sorry, Danny, sorry. Sorry, Uncle Mama. But so like let's say you have an emotional charge around a spoon. Then they say, okay, if you have an emotional charge around the spoon, what else does it make you think of? Well, the spoon makes me think of da-da-da-da. Well, what else does that make you think of? Well, that makes me think of da-da-da-da. So they would do this thing called clustering where you have to analyze everything in your life that has an emotional charge and then find out what it's associated with, and then what's that associated with, and what's that associated with. And what they found was that everything clusters down to birth trauma and parent trauma. Everything basically comes back to that you as a child think that your parents are God, and God has abandoned you when they start saying no and you can't have that spoon anymore. They don't want to let you feed yourself. They take the spoon away. So ultimately the spoon is this emotional charge because they wouldn't feed you. And they said no. And
to me, the funny thing about what he's saying right now, and it's not funny, but I mean, it's hereditarily funny because, you know, we was always taught that all your beliefs and all your processes and everything you understand comes from your parents. You feel me? And what they instilled in you to do. I never would have expected, you know, that to be the same outcome when they tell you to do these studies to become one of these psychic people. You understand what I mean? A lot of y'all, you know, really probably had these ideas when y'all was young, like, man, I wonder if power is real. I wonder is this, you know, really true? I wonder, can we really space travel, time travel? I know I did. You know, when I was young, I used to always wonder that. I used to, you know, be amazed at my ideas in the way I thought, because I'm like, I wouldn't have these ideas and thoughts for nothing. You know what I'm saying? They just don't come to your mind and they just don't appear for nothing. You know, a lot of us are embedded with these type of thoughts, you know, and I think we are truly gifted because, like I said, we hear so many people talking about it. We hear so many people telling us how gifted we are, how special we are, and why other species would hate us. With that being said, we're going to go farther in this video because, like I said, may he rest in peace, David Wilcock. He killed himself April 20th, 2026. And I think it's because they drove him to the point of doing so. He was, threatened to not expose or disclose none of this information that he's disclosing within these 4 parts videos that I've been releasing to you guys. At the end of the day, I think, me personally, I'm tired of seeing the government do that to people and trying to control people and control the narrative of what people say and how they operate and what they, expose to the world. I think a lot of times they don't want the people to do it because it'll put them in trouble. Deep doodle. You feel me? Well, if you got to be in deep doodle, then so what? Because you should have actually covered your ass. You should have made sure you was doing something that was on a scale of covering your ass so you don't be in deep doodle. You should have made sure if you in a politician field, if you working with the government and you know damn well you get paid good money and you get paid to lie to the public, then my nigga, you should have done something way more better than to cover your ass. You understand? But then y'all force people like these guys, the scientists like Amy Eskridge, out of jobs. You threaten them, you kill people in their family, you do all sorts of things. You taunt them, you torture them. That shit is wrong. And I think right now in these times and days, that shit finna end, gang. That's done. That's finna end soon. You hear me? The species are finna show themselves. You feel me? Because these motherfuckers around here, they scared to disclose this with us. Let's go. Let's go.
And eventually you'll remember that. The other thing he said was that the dark night of the soul is incredibly important for the psychic training program. And that's what we're going through now as a collective. We're all going through it individually because of the economy and the violence and all this scary stuff. We're also going through it collectively. The whole planet is going through a weird dark night of the soul. Now, this is what he said. It was very interesting and very strange. I talked about the reciprocity between space and time. Let me go wide again. Talked about the reciprocity between space and time. So when you are having a dark night of the soul, they said that it is an implosion of your external reality. In other words, the normal stuff that you take for granted in your external reality is imploding. It's coming in on you. You feel compressed. You start to crouch. You start to feel bad inside, okay? But then, as there is an implosion of your external reality, there is an explosion of your internal reality. Just like the physics is called reciprocal system, it's the reciprocal between space and time. There's a reciprocal between your outer world, your ego, your personality self, what you project to others, and then your inner world, who you really are, your spirit, your soul, your dreams, and that's where all this power comes from. So if you implode your external reality, you explode your internal reality. And this is where it gets really, really strange, because as your internal reality explodes, the actual size of your dream landscape gets bigger. This is a whole other amazing topic I've talked about before, so I won't repeat too much on this, but one of the other exercises that made people be able to do these amazing feats of consciousness is they would have you remember your dreams and then draw the landscape of what was in the dream. So you have to draw.
What he's discussing here is dream journaling, ladies and gentlemen. Dream journaling has been something that's been part of, the universe for a while. I mean, culture after culture, and a lot of people, they write their dreams down. They want to understand what they mean. In the Bible, they even, had a couple scriptures about someone that was deciphering dreams, that was decoding dreams and letting people understand or know what the dreams meant and how to do so, and what specific order or what message the dream was trying to give to them. And I think that was cool. I think that was cool. I think, being able to interpret a dream for someone, I think that's one of the hottest things. You feel me? Because that shows that your mind is on a different level than other people. I swear to God. Most people might think they get more money than you or whatever the case may be. And I know a lot of people around you and I, they think that money shit is the life. Like, you feel me? They really do. I feel like I feel like they trick everybody into thinking that money is the life. Money is everything. If you ain't got no money, you ain't got nothing. Because at the end of the day, when you lose your life, no matter how much money you got, that money don't go with you. You understand what I'm saying? It never. I don't know not one rich motherfucker who took a barrel of money in a coffin. But when you lock into shit like this, when you lock into knowledge like this, knowledge of the esoteric ancient cultures that used to be here, and the ancient civilizations that once was here before us, or that are advanced past us and went to different planets, then gang, you are really onto something. People will hate you for this. They even try to take you out like they did Jesus. That's why they had to get rid of Jesus. They like, that nigga know too much. He know too much, big dog. Let's get back into this video.
And where the objects are. And then what they teach you is that these objects represent parts of yourself. Everything in the dream is yourself. Every character is yourself. Every object is yourself. The landscape is you. And it's all symbolic. So when you meet this character, that symbolizes some part of yourself. If that character is somebody you knew when you were a kid, then it means that that's from that part of your life. So I used to have all these horrible nightmares where I had to go back to high school, which was hell for me, because I was very heavily bullied, as you can probably imagine, having a 180 IQ and getting A's on everything as a kid. People hated me. And then because I was overweight for several years, they really used that.
I don't think that's cool, gang. He said people hated him because he was super smart and intelligent. Hey, and I bet that's probably why the people that hated you, they in the position they in now. The people that hated you probably ain't nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Even though he done killed himself recently, the people that hated him probably ain't even got a fucking clue of what they want to do with him. That's why it'd be funny to me when people think they hate somebody. Like, man, fuck you. Hate yourself. Hate yourself, bitch. Because at the end of the day, you ain't got no right nor no reason to hate nobody, because your motherfucking stupid ass probably is hating yourself. And that's why you hate somebody. I hate bullies. Personally, I hate bullies. I hate a person who bully on people. You feel me? I do. I hate it with a passion. I put my heart into hating a person who bully on people, because at the end of the day, them motherfuckers probably got bullied all their life. They probably had a fucking horrible life. They probably never had the life that they wanted, and then they see you come along. Look at this motherfucker. He living good. He dressed like this. He a nerd. You understand what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, you getting bullied. You understand what I'm saying? Like, come on, make this shit make sense. That's how you know bullies. Bullies like to make people mad, upset. They like to pick a bone with people all the time. Like, gang, look, I don't fuck with bullies, man. Like he said, they was mad because he was super smart. Man, he intelligent, though. He doing shit some of you niggas that never do in your motherfucking lifetime. You understand?
By the way, I've been jogging and I continue to lose weight. I'm doing great. So you can actually probably see it with my jaw, right? I'm getting better. So that's because I'm not sitting around doing this research all day. I'm actually starting to live my life for the first time, which is part of why I haven't been doing as much stuff. But I'm going to be back a lot more often now, as long as I don't lose my channel. I want to do more of these, and I don't want to go months at a time, or even, hopefully, I won't go more than a few weeks at a time before I do something else. So anyway, but I wanted to come back with a bang. I mean, are you guys loving this or what? This is like some really great stuff, and I'm very happy to be doing this for you, trying to keep it within a reasonable time limit, and we're doing okay. So what they teach you is that the dream landscape is a representational landscape of the psyche. It represents your psyche. Everything in there has meaning for you. I talk about this extensively in the new book, Awakening the Dream, how all this works. I didn't really get into the Bruce stuff very much. I don't know if I covered it at all, actually, but I've done it in many other lectures. So anyway, another really weird thing that they talk about is some esoteric principle that they apparently had in secret mystery school teachings that they kept secret. And it's the arrow of time points in the direction you're.
He said the secret mystery school teachings. He said secret mystery school teachings, gang, like fucking Harry Potter. Like, you understand what I'm saying? If y'all remember, Harry Potter school was a secret school. And I say it was secret because it was only meant to teach those that knew about magic or knew about the powers of magic. You know what I'm saying? To be. And they also probably knew that them kids had frequencies to tap into higher consciousness. That's probably why all them kids in Hogwarts movies was son, you know, like little ladders, like, hey, yo, you want to join the school or something? You wanna come? You want to be over here with us? We'll teach you how to hone into your powers. We'll teach you all that good shit. All you got to do is, yeah, come on. And they did shit. You feel me? He just mentioned that. And I think that's something we can't even deflect or try to deny, that is probably mystery schools out here that teach you certain skills and talents and techniques, you feel me, that you won't regularly learn on your own. If you do learn them on your own, then you know that's a blessing, because I'm hearing humans should have been advanced with their knowledge, with their consciousness. We should have been advanced, you feel me? But they left us stuck. They left us stuck with all these distractions on planet Earth, gang. I think that's the killer part for us. Let's keep going, though.
And this is also the secret of time travel. Time appears to be moving forward based on the direction that you are moving in. So your dream landscape might just be this little box, and you got little objects in the box that you draw, and when you go to these dreams, the objects won't be the same, but they'll be in the same location. That's what's so weird. The landscape stays the same, the objects have the same symbolic meaning, and as you have more of these dreams, the objects will show you different versions of the same symbols. And then in the dream, you travel through the landscape, and the arrow of time travels in the direction that you're facing. So as you walk through the landscape, you eventually come back to the beginning. That's a cycle, right? That's a cycle that you go through. But it appears now that you've gone back to the beginning that because you're facing this way, the arrow of time is still pointing ahead. So it's still the future. You don't realize that you've traveled back to the same spiritual lesson that you needed to learn before. So the psychic training program was very big on using your dreams, remembering your dreams, understanding what they're meaning, and applying it to yourself. And then you have the dark night of the soul at some point. And when you have the dark night of the soul, you get the implosion of your external reality and the explosion of your dream landscape. Now, the dream landscape actually gets bigger in size. This is what they taught him. We talked about this for many, many hours. The dream landscape gets bigger in size, and there's new objects that weren't there before, and they represent new potentials in your soul that you didn't have before. Now you can walk through it in all different ways, and again, the arrow of time is pointing in the direction you're facing. Now, this actually did happen to me, and it blew me away, because I've been writing my dreams down for 28 years as of September 21st. So, yeah, happy anniversary is coming up really soon. 28 years I've been doing this stuff. So when I started to really get spiritual growth under my belt, I used to always have to go to high school. And now the high school got much, much, much bigger. And so my locker's over here, but now I got to walk way the heck down this hallway, and there's all these other cool things going on. So I had personal experience that told me that this was true. Another thing that they really insisted that you do is called inverse calisthenics. Okay? Now, what does that mean? Inverse calisthenics means that you have to do sit-ups hanging upside down. Now, again, please, if you have any medical issues, you gotta be very gentle. Don't take a sudden risk and just flip upside down, because it can really make blood flow to your head. But there are these inverters that you have that are pretty safe if you do it carefully. And then you dangle upside down and you do sit-ups. And I've been doing this. I have an inverter at home. I'm not doing it here, but when I was home, and you want to go up nice and slow, just a nice slow burn, and you just go up there. Now, what they said was that your pineal gland starts to have a much greater amount of blood flowing through it because of the calisthenics, and the more blood goes through your pineal gland, the more psychic you are. Now, here's the one other thing that he said that, and I'm just giving it all to you. I'm not selling this. It's all free. So, but here it is. Okay, vegans are going to hate me.
Free knowledge, gang. Hey, it's free knowledge, gang. Hey, it's free knowledge, gang. Look, man, name a nigga you know on this motherfucking YouTube that's dropping this shit right here for you, man. These niggas ain't got this for you, gang. This shit right here you ain't heard. You ain't heard it, you ain't gonna hear it nowhere, gang. You feel me? It's once in a lifetime catch that you catch people like him, great people like him, who's letting information like this be known to the public, and the public that need to know it. Fuck the government. Simple like that. You feel me? Definitely when they can hide stuff stuff from us, if they this loyal and hiding things from the civilians they so protect, then fuck them. Why is we serving them? Y'all tell me, man, wake up, wake the fuck up, man. Fuck the government. We ain't playing with them no more. They killing motherfuckers. They killing people that got the secrets and got the sauce for us that we should have been on. No, they want to use all the sauce. They want to use all the secrets. You know what? I'm tired of these motherfuckers using all the sauce and secrets, and they leaving us with the leftovers. They leaving us with all the shit they don't want to take part in. They leaving us with all the parts of the sauce that they don't want to dip their hands in. You know, and then they get mad at good guys like this guy because he ready to give us the information. He ready to put us on game. Like, look, y'all, pay attention to this, watch this, understand that, and don't do this. You understand what I'm saying? Like, what's really going on? Then you got all these missing scientists. Did y'all ever find them? Is Trump trying to find them? Somebody make that shit make sense, man. Because I want to know. I don't think so, gang. Personally, I don't. I ain't seen them do shit.
Always gave these guys best steaks because apparently if you have really nicely grown organic meat, and especially if it's only been 5 days or less since it was quote unquote harvested, at that point, when you're eating that, apparently your psychic ability increases very dramatically. The very likely reason for that is the activator X that's in those things, which Dr. Weston Price, again, if you've heard me talk about that, a dentist who went to all these blue zones where people had never gotten Western food and they were eating traditional food and they didn't have there was less than one cavity per 1,000 teeth. Everybody had perfect teeth, no heart disease, no diabetes, no cancer. Everybody's healthy, everybody's psychic. So if you don't want to eat meat, you can get the activator X by using things like butter oil or ghee, especially if the cows are feeding on organic grass that grows at a fast speed. So you can get it with organic butter oil, and you can also get it by eating eggs that have dark orange yolks. So in Los Angeles, there's this Happy Egg company, and that's one of the brands that you can get, and they have this blue egg carton. It's the only blue one there is, and it says rich dark orange yolks. And sure enough, you crack them open, and they're really dark orange. Well, you should probably be eating 2 of those every day for breakfast. That's what I do. I eat 2 eggs a day. I don't always eat the yolk. Sometimes I only eat 1 yolk to cut down on fat. But if I'm really doing a lot of thinking, I'll eat 2 egg yolks in the day because it really, really helps. So again, if you're a vegetarian, no problem. It's just that the steaks are one of several ways to get that. The best steak, in my view, the only steak I eat at all is bison because the buffalo there's no hormones, there's no antibiotics, and they have to raise them ethically and they have to kill them ethically, which means that they're not aware that it's going to happen and there's no suffering, it's instantaneous. And
I feel him though, bison, but I had some bison before and I didn't like that shit, gang. I don't know why. Like it was horrible. But I do understand what he's saying because all the other meat is so cancerous, it's not good for our body. You know, this stuff weird, man. Everything that's taking place and the shit they hiding and doing. So let's keep.
One bison actually can feed many, 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 many hundreds of people. So you're part of something that's giving back. And actually, another thing that I've said, I'll just throw it out there. This also is going to get my channel taken down. The vegans are going to hate me. I used to be vegan for 7 years. I got very anemic. It didn't work for my body type. That's the only reason why I do this at all. I would prefer to be vegan if I could. My body can't handle it. I get very sick. I get very dark circles under my eyes. They're already dark enough. They get a lot worse. My skin gets very pale. I become very anemic. So I didn't really have a choice. And it was actually Bruce that got me off of being vegan because of what he was telling me about this. That's why I started to eat meat in the first place. Believe it or not, it's true. I couldn't talk about this before because he didn't want me to say any of this stuff and link these pieces together. But anyway, enough of that. You can get it with butter oil. You can get it with dark orange yolks. You can also get it with fish liver oil, and there's different types of fish that works with. But basically, you need to eat organic food, and there has to be at least something animal related, whether it's like butter or eggs. And so I put it to practice, and it really did seem to work. You know, I started to feel better. And he and I actually did a massive basement renovation at L&L where we built like 3 bedrooms down in the basement and laid down floor and vapor barriers. And we were doing framing and sheetrock and all that stuff, insulation, electrical. We did everything. And we'd worked for months because Carla inherited $85,000 and she wanted to upgrade the house. So I'm down there all day working on this hard labor. And as a vegan, I was like passing out. I was really tired. He said, I really think you need to start eating meat. Bruce, what are you saying, man? I'm never going to eat meat. Are you freaking crazy? Well, in order to do the labor, he said, well, just try it. So sure enough, I had a lot more strength and I figured out, okay, my body does need this, which is kind of a drag, but you do the best that you can. So if you can get by with the butter, oil, and the eggs, great. That's my recommendation. If you can get away with that, it's awesome. So those are all the basic things that he said. Inverse calisthenics, Activator X, the dream landscape, quiet point meditation, and clustering. Okay, that's really all. He said that's all they had to do, and you just had to do these things. But when you have that dark night of the soul, when you have the implosion of your external landscape and the explosion of your internal landscape, your dream landscape gets bigger. This is one of the most fascinating things they taught in the psychic training program. They said that you are now fulfilling what you were here in this life to achieve. Normally, people don't get through their dream landscape in one lifetime. They keep running through the same cycle. The arrow of time goes in the direction they're facing. They don't learn very much. And so when you actually have that dark night of the soul and your internal landscape explodes, you've downloaded new information that sets you off on a whole new trajectory. And now you're in this whole new reality where you're going beyond what your soul might have thought you were capable of doing in one lifetime. When you bring in energy that is beyond what you would have had in one lifetime, you bring in power. Okay, it's about the power. It's about the spiritual power. Unfortunately, the rules apparently work the same whether you use it for good or evil. Evil people can meditate and use black magic and get it to work. It's about the will. It's about the focused direction of the will.
That's deep. That's deep. That's different, man. I said different because he just told you right there, evil people use black magic. They use their evil negative thoughts. And it's your willpower that sends your magic to wherever you gotta go, gang. It's the willpower in your belief. It's the same as positive things. You feel me? It's the same as if you're a positive motherfucker, you're so positive, you are able to do miracles and magic. You understand what I'm saying? And these are things they don't want nobody to know. They don't want you to know this day. You wonder why? Because they like, shit, you probably can change something, or you will. They are frightened, right? They don't want us to know none of this stuff. They don't want us to meet ETs. They don't want us to see extraterrestrial beings because they already know that us as humans, we already intelligent. We just finna switch this plan of they control around to where we control our own lives, and I don't know what they're gonna be doing with this. And no more manipulation though, right? Simple. Because we've been manipulated for years by these reptilians. Reptilians done manipulated the world for years. They done got over. The reptilians is the rich motherfuckers, the motherfuckers who so rich and want to be rich. Yeah, pay attention, gang. Some of you niggas, some of y'all, you feel me, bypass all this information because y'all feel one, is not true. Two, I don't care about this. Three, that don't relate to me. All I care about is that bag. But look, I'm gonna tell you something. You can't die with that money. I just said that. You can't die and you ain't gonna die with that money.
Like that, but you can use it positively as well. So getting back to these scores, okay, he said that typical people, this is what the program taught him, typical people on the P scale are like a P0, meaning they don't have any psychic ability at all. As you become more psychic, you go P1, P2, P3, P4. Natural psychics are people who just have it come naturally. They didn't get this training. They didn't do clustering. They didn't necessarily do the inverse calisthenics or any of this other stuff. It came to them on their own. Their research said that nobody that was a natural ever got above a P4. But in the Psy-Corps, if you train in this science, you can get P5, P6, P7, and anything above like a 6, you could be a wet worker, which again, I don't recommend doing this because it's very, very bad karma. But you know, they could pinch the carotid artery in the neck and cause a stroke. And this apparently is used all the time. You will have psychic shielding based on your karma. So these people cannot do this to you unless you're vulnerable. And that also has to do with the rules of engagement on planet Earth and anywhere in the universe. They can't, no negative force can do anything to you unless you authorized it. You have to be the one that says, I accept this karma, by basically inviting it through your own actions. It's really sad, therefore, looking at the world right now, that people are not getting the message and they're acting in a very combative way. And there's a lot of anger and there's a lot of hatred and there's a lot of depression. And that's not going to help you. You got to be able to keep your frequencies high, because that's one of the whole tricks to this stuff. So, yeah, we go on and on about the psychic training program, but we were talking about the television.
And that's for you sad motherfuckers, right? That's for you sad motherfuckers out there, man. There's so many sad people out there. You always depressed, man. You mad at life. I don't get that. I never did. I never will. I never understand a motherfucker who just down all the time. You just heard that man say you got to keep your frequency up. Those of y'all that don't know, keeping your frequency high, my nigga, that make all the best possibilities for you to take place. Well, you can plan you want to be rich. You can plan you want the big houses. You want the big cars. Then you got to keep your frequency high. That means you got to stay happy. You got to stay loving. You got to stay forgiving. You can't not one time step in a shell that is not you. You can't not one time step in a shell that's not you. For that, you got to stay all the way you. And that's the positive you, not the lesser you, not the negative you, gang. Because a lot of times, and I'll give you an example. I was just at the gas station. I had to run to the gas station, gang. Right away, I hear a lady up in there. She's snapping at the man about some $3 soap. It's a baby bottle of soap. You feel me? She probably trying to wash some dishes or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, $3, man. She telling me, you motherfucker gonna give me this $3 or I'll tear this motherfucker up. Man, she got her baby with her. Because I'll tell this motherfucker, ain't nobody gonna play with me. The security guard dude in there gave her the $3. There you go, man. And she like, no, it's a principle. Motherfuckers want to be funny and give me the $3. Now I'm like, but you just said, like, hold on, gang, you better get the $3 or you gonna tear it up. So to me, that let me know this bitch was lost. She just angry. She wants somebody to take it out on, gang. So she come to the gas station trying to get mad at the man for $3, $2.99 or $2.99 a fucking bottle of soap, bitch. Like, gang, this shit be crazy. I can attest to what he's saying. You feel me? I was just saying that earlier, like, gang, black people, they be the angriest, they be the maddest, they be the most upsettest motherfuckers around the world. For what? For what? You know what I'm saying? Why? Make it make sense. Let's keep going though, gang.
Together. So when you watch Babylon 5, and it was very uncanny, they used the same exact nomenclature on the show, P1 through P10, and they used teeps and teaks as well. And that blew me away. Another example of this was, apparently he said at one point that when you're on the chair and you're looking into the past, that there's a way to do like a mind's eye view of it where you're looking at it without going, and that created a little orb that some people could see, and they had a very exaggerated, funny name for it. It was called an obit, or outer band individuated teletracer. And I said, hey, Bruce, let's just look that up online. And so sure enough, I typed it in, and there's actually an episode of an old black and white television show called The Outer Limits, called Outer Band Individuated Teletracer. That was amazing. There was a show that he said, I guess it was in the 1960s, called The Time Tunnel. And it's total disclosure. So I would also recommend going back and watching that show. There's a tunnel in the show, and it's black and white, spirals going through a tunnel. And he said that was called a TVG. And as soon as he said TVG to me, I said time vector generator, and I was right. And he was amazed when I did that. So the time vector generator is a whole other thing. But you generate, if you want to, what they would try to do is create a future that they want to have, and they use the TVG to send energy to magnetize that timeline. So he said, it sounds crazy, but once we really get into time travel, anything is possible. So to watch Babylon 5 and to hear them saying teeps and teeks, and to hear them, actually some of the beings in the show have a P11 psychic rating, which he said that's impossible. 10 is the highest anybody's ever gotten. But at a P10, if you're a telekinetic, you can move large objects. So it's pretty fascinating stuff. The other show that we watched was Stargate SG-1. And according to Bruce, Stargate SG-1 is true. That they were, it was sort of a combination of stuff that he was doing with the time travel stuff with Montauk, and stuff that they were doing through what they called the Ancient Stargate Network. Now, what is the Ancient Stargate?
So you see, like before he died, he was really doing his work. He was doing his work. He researched all his shit. He was not playing, you feel me? And this is what you're supposed to do. When you doing a task like this, a job like these scientists worked at, you feel me? The ones that died and the ones that's missing and the general, you feel me? Like, gang, you're supposed to do your work and your research and be able to present it to the people in an orderly fashion so they can understand it. You see, the government didn't want that. They was not trying to let us understand that, hey, yo, they been had this technology. Yo, we know that UFOs and aliens done landed on Earth and been here and came back, so on and so forth. At the end of the day, they wanted to keep lying to us. They wanted this cycle to continue. Now, he just said something about cycle of life and coming back to life. And then remember, I played a video. I don't know if I uploaded it yet, but Elizabeth April was talking about reincarnation is real. You feel me? She remote viewed it, and then they took her to a Galactic Federation meeting. You feel me? That was held inside the moon. And a lot of y'all probably think this far-fetched. Bullshit. No, I ain't bullshitting. At the end of the day, though, man, you feel me? And that's my time. I love y'all, man. Y'all make sure y'all take care, stay safe, and stay blessed, man.
The gang, them grew up in piling. Couple of groupies to fit with. High, no turbulence, vibing. Higher than you niggas getting. Flying while you niggas flyless. Your kind is scooter dependent. I come something new when I'm driving. Driving off the roof, no ceilings. Got a skyline view when I'm riding.